Hey. Um, so, um, this is a very special video. Um, and it kind of ties in with, something I mentioned in day 7 of Reasons to Love Myself. Um, my first reason for day number 7, for reasons why I love myself are, I love my spiritual abilities. Now, that's really quite a long story to explain, and I would like to go into more detail with it and explain some more experiences, but it would just take a really long time, and I would probably have to break it up into like separate videos. So for now, to explain, I have an old speech from my high school speech and drama class that I took, that explains a little bit of what I mean by my spiritual abilities. Um, uh, um, I was really, when I was writing this speech, I really didn't know what to do at first. And then I was just like, I remembered this event that happened to me, the situation that I was in. And I'm like, I have to write this. I have to write this and I have to share this, even though I had never shared it with anybody outside of my family and a few close friends. And I'm like, something inside me just could not pick a different topic. So, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to write it, and I'm going to give this speech for my class, whether it makes sense or not, or whether people believe it or not. And it actually, I was very surprised by the reactions I got. Most people were rather just curious about it and very open to the idea. And I know I'm being super cryptic right now and making it even more like, what are you talking about? Like, but just, I promise you it'll be explained once I actually read the speech aloud. So this speech is titled Remembering Tommy. And in particular, why this was such an important event is it was a very impactful situation, an impactful event in my life that I experienced. And it still sticks with me today. And it's still something that's very important to me. And I will never forget this experience, and how much it has really changed me. Okay, so remembering Tommy. Even in death, our loved ones still have voices that need to be heard. What you are about to hear may sound absurd or even made up, but for me, it was as real as the sky is blue. I can do extraordinary things that even I find myself questioning. I can communicate with those who have passed away. This is not the first time it's happened, and it probably won't be the last. But this is one story, one moment, that truly changed me and continues to affect my life today. Whether you choose to believe it or not is up to you. It started out like any other normal morning, until a pair of big brown eyes showed up. It was too quiet, my skin prickling under the buzzing silence as a wave of lightheadedness overcomes me for a moment. A vision. 2 big, brown, doe-like eyes stared at me from the bottom of the stairs, peeking around the pillar curiously. It's odd how briefly they flashed in my mind before disappearing as soon as they came. It was a male this time. I wasn't really sure what to think, all emotions having since retreated to the back of my mind while I let my body move on autopilot. I had to get ready to go to school, or I'd miss the bus. Subconsciously, I searched for the eyes again, glancing occasionally to the stairs and hoping. To ease the fluttering of anxiety in my stomach, I started to chatter aloud, random thoughts, and snippets of broken conversation. I jokingly quipped that I don't like ghosts who play Peeping Tom, but I cut myself short. Electricity zipped down my spine, and it was like an aha moment as the name registered in my brain. Tom, Thomas, Tommy, Tommy. Again, the zing raced down my spine. Approval. So this kid's name is Tommy? I attempted to get some more information from him, to get another glimpse of him and see if I could get an age. But the clock was ticking. I had to get to the bus stop. Hurriedly, I called out a goodbye. The rest of my day remained otherwise uneventful. I saw neither hide nor hair of brown-eyed Tommy until that night when I closed my eyes to go to sleep. White. That's all I could see. A white ceiling with white floors underneath my feet, and endless white in between. There weren't any walls, really, just blank space that seemingly went on forever, no sort of end to be found. Up ahead, about 10 feet away and facing me, were 3 small figures, children. One was almost completely invisible, just a barely there outline distinguishing the smallest form from the white background. Another male, just a toddler, and he must have already moved on to the other side. To his right was a slightly taller girl. She was solid, but her face was hidden by shadows and finely braided brunette hair. She couldn't have been older than 8 from the looks of it, and like the 2 beside her, she was wearing snow gear, a purple long-sleeved tee, a pale pink puffy vest, and matching snow boots. Finally, to her right, the tallest figure was a boy no older than 9. He had large chocolate brown eyes that glimmered in the brightness. My breath caught in my throat momentarily. A small hand waved me over, beckoning me to come closer, so I did, treading lightly over to him before kneeling down so we were at eye level. Those little hands came up to cup my face, resting gently on my cheeks. Tommy smiled wide and brilliantly while he tugged at the corners of my lips, a silent command to smile myself. Again, I did as he asked. Once Tommy was satisfied with my grin, his gaze turned to look behind me over my left shoulder. I twisted, keeping a tender smile on my face as I spotted who he was looking at. A tall and slim man in red plaid and worn blue jeans with a shaved head and an almost gaunt-looking face stood not 5 feet from us. The 3 children's father. Tommy started to talk, but I couldn't hear a word. It was just the sensation of muffled noise reaching my ears, but nothing easily distinguishable from the quiet humming. Then, a moment of clarity. The cotton had been pulled from my ears. I have to go now, Daddy. It's not your time yet, but I'll be waiting on the other side for you. Ice cold shock. Time slowed down, and in the next moment there was a resounding bang, and Tommy was slipping, falling back into my arms limply. He was a warm weight in my trembling embrace, and my smile was slipping rapidly. Dark eyes stared up at me, still shining brightly alongside that smile. Even as the final breath was released from pale pink lips and Tommy was gone, something inside me broke, cracked open like a dam, holding back the rushing rivers of my emotions, and I screamed, the loudest screams I could ever produce. Hot tears burned down my cheeks, and then it was all gone. I woke slowly, not even a jolt, and it felt like a joke as everything inside me felt numb and empty. The young boy's weight still a hot, heavy pressure in my chest. I won't be seeing those beautiful hickory eyes again, though they are forever ingrained in my very being. Somehow, in unexplainable ways, I knew that this strange young boy named Tommy and his youngest sibling, his 2-year-old brother, died in a tragic car accident over the winter in 2015. His father and younger sister were in severe condition. The father survived, though it is still unknown to me if the sister survived as well. Tommy was only 9 years old. I searched for obituaries and news reports of any kind. I found nothing. But my meeting with Tommy was as real as anything else I'd ever experienced. And I knew that no matter if I couldn't find proof of the accident, Tommy was in a better place. And I will never forget him or his message to me that night. Our loved ones will always remain in our lives. Their love and the messages they spread kept safely in our hearts. I am a conduit for the voices of those who have died, and let or those who have died to let these messages be heard. And I am proud to have this ability. Okay, you are in a tissue box, so I'm going to. So. I didn't think I was going to start crying again. No tears actually fell. But, I mean, close enough. So, since I was almost 11 years old, not quite 11, it was a couple months before my 11th birthday. Or no, about a month before my 11th birthday. I started to experience things that didn't quite make sense to me. Like, I didn't realize just how far these abilities went. In 2010, my great-grandfather died. He passed away in September. And for about a week after his funeral, I heard his voice talking to me, and I would talk to him and have conversations with him. And I talked to him about how much I missed him. And he would always assure me and comfort me that he was with me and that everything is okay. And for an almost 11-year-old, you know, it's just like, you think it's a way of coping. And for a while, that's what it felt like. And then a lot of strange things started to happen. And I started hearing more people, hearing more voices, and sensing more people. Like, I'd be in an empty room, and it would feel like I was being watched, and I wasn't alone anymore. And it scared me at first. Like, for sure, it scared me at first, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And then it just started getting more strong, like more powerful. And instead of just hearing them and feeling them, I could see them, and they'd appear in my dreams. And I learned that I am a psychic. I have the ability to communicate with those who have passed on. And I haven't had a lot of experiences, but the experiences I have had have changed me and affected me in a lot of different ways. And what I have learned from every spirit who has visited me will stay with me. And even if they are not still here with me and they have passed on, I know that they are continuing to stay with me in other ways. They stay with me in my heart. And I know that they are watching over me, and that I am safe and protected with them by my side. And my experience with Tommy was one of the most impactful experiences, because before this, I hadn't really had an experience with a child spirit. I think only one time before this, and it wasn't as direct or as memorable as this so much. And in this sense, the dream that I had, the visitation that I had in my dream that you heard about in this story was very new for me. When I have a spirit visit me in my sleep, I dream most often of their death, but I never remember their deaths. I never remember anything from the dreams outside of, oh, I saw this spirit in there. Like, there'd be a flash of eyes or a flash of hair or skin or something, And it'd be the sensations and the emotions that they were feeling that I'd remember. I'd wake up and I'd be feeling those things. But with Tommy, it was a lucid dream. I remember every detail clearly, and I remember exactly knowing that I wasn't awake, that I was asleep, this was in this, like, subconscious part of me, and I could control my actions in the dream. You know, like with any normal lucid dream that you hear people talk about. And so the fact that I remember so much, and the fact that I woke up, and the fact that Tommy was a child, it's really had a huge, huge effect on me. And I will never forget that, like, his smile and his message to his father, and his message to me, to smile and to be happy. And no, it's definitely not easy to be happy. You know, I remember that, and I try to be happy. And I try to think of all the good things that I have experienced in my life and remember those times. And just to imagine all of the possible happy moments in the future that I could have, and to make more of those memories. And I know that when I am having a bad day, that I can remember Tommy, and I know that he is with me and he's smiling, and I can smile again. So, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful for everything that I've learned from the spirits who have visited me. And while it may not make sense to a lot of people, and while a lot of people may not believe in it, I believe in it. I have experienced it, and I have lived it, and I hope that the messages still impact you in some way. That you can understand why it's so important to listen to these messages. You don't have to believe that I've seen ghosts. You just have to believe that the messages I hear are important. So do what you will with this video, but I wanted to be able to share this, and I wanted to be able to share what I can do and what I've experienced, and I wanted to be able to share this message with all of you. So, excuse my crying, and thank you for watching, and I hope that you are able to take something from this video. Bye.